You are listening to the 90 Days Later podcast with Anna Charles, episode 196. Welcome to the 90 Days Later podcast, where we talk about what really happens when you take a break from drinking. And it turns out to be the best thing you've ever done. I'm Anna, coach to high achievers who are done waking up with regret and ready to feel in control around alcohol. If you've ever wondered what your life could look like with less wine and more you, you're in the right place. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. I hope you've been having a good week. Last week was my birthday week. Yes, I have a whole week, not just a day. And we went on a terrific trip to Kleine Scheidegg. This is the place at the base of the north face of the Eiger. And any of you mountaineering enthusiasts out there, or armchair mountaineering enthusiasts, among which I count myself, it is just the most phenomenal place. You get to see the full scope of that face of the mountain, which is described as the most technically difficult climb in the whole of Europe. And it's just so phenomenal. You can see from the base all the way to the top, and you can have a nice cup of coffee at the same time from the hotel as you're watching. And if you follow me on Instagram, I am the alcohol freedom coach. You will see some of the photos. I'm starting to post some of the photos up there that I took. Just a phenomenal place. I totally recommend it to any of you. And the peace and quiet. If you're looking for peace and quiet, you certainly get that at Kleine Scheidegg. And it was tremendous fun. Huge fun. And I didn't drink a drop. My husband had, I think, 1.5 glasses of wine. Huge fun. So that's really what I want to talk about today, because it's the fun. The idea of, is the drink the fun part, right? Because when I start working with people, one of the uppermost things is kind of this, I really want to do this, Anna. I know I'm drinking too much and I know it's really not serving me, but it's such fun. I enjoy it. I really like it. Right. And not only do we kind of have the conflict there between those two thoughts, but we also have the sort of the lurking. It's like a lurking fear. If I'm successful at reducing the alcohol, does that mean I'm successful then at removing all fun? So I just want to look today at just want to challenge, right? Is the alcohol, is that the fun part? Is it really the fun part? Because here's the deal, we do tell ourselves that it is, right? We tell ourselves that that glass in our hand is what makes the dinner party lively. It's what makes Friday night exciting, the weekend feel special. Or in my case, I remember it used to be, it makes Monday kind of doable. I can get through Monday, right, with all the horrors of Monday, if there's a glass or two of wine at the end of it, kind of my reward. And it might not make Monday really fun, but it'll be the fun part. It'll be the fun part of Monday, right? Because then I would think without it, well, the night would be flat, kind of boring, right? It's just all boring. I don't want that, right? That's what I would tell myself, it's what I hear a lot. But here is the truth. Listen to this. And I want you to listen to this not just logically. People say, logically, I know this, Anna. I really want you to take this to heart. The drink is not the fun part. It's just what your brain has learned, right? Your brain has learned to link the wine or the whiskey or the beer with fun, right? Is that association that you have learned and you have taught yourself. And even if it feels fun in the moment, it is not fun without consequences, right? We get the 3 a.m. wake-ups, we get the sluggish mornings, we get the self-criticism that follows you into the next day. I'm going to offer that is not the kind of fun you're actually looking for. And we know that's lurking out there. We know that when we've said yes to that glass of wine that we were not going to say yes to, or maybe we've said yes to the third glass of wine when we were only going to have 2, right? We were going to be moderating. Even when we are quote unquote having fun during that third glass, I want to offer you've got a lurking sense of discomfort in your head that's saying, you didn't want to do this. This is not a good idea. you know you're going to suffer the consequences tomorrow. So even when you're so supposedly having fun, and you may well be having fun, feeling lively, feeling spontaneous, and all those things that we say, this is going to be lurking there sooner or later before the end of the evening. So I really want you just to really take this on board and see this. I want you to recognize this. So I want you to think about the last time you went into a gathering, right? Any kind of do. Doesn't matter if it's something informal or formal. There's going to be music, probably. There's going to be food, a few nibbles. There's going to be chatter, all right? That's what you go into with all these people. But perhaps your eyes are scanning the room for the bar. Maybe that's the first thing. They're kind of like heat seeking. I want to find the bar. Or you're looking for, if it's a fancier do, are you looking for the waiter or waitress who's walking around with that tray of drinks? And if this is the way you start out, and I remember this so clearly, right? All the other stuff is nice. Yeah, it's nice, but I want to get that drink first. You're not going to probably relax until the drink is in your hand. And then the minute you do, relief. And there's kind of this, like we're crossing the starting point. Okay, now the fun can begin. Now the evening's beginning. I know I've been here 5 minutes already, and I know it was fun getting all dressed up, and I know it was fun looking forward to anticipating it, but actually really the fun begins now because I've got the drink in my hand. So that's how that could go. Or perhaps on the other end of the spectrum, it's just a quiet Friday, or maybe even a quiet Tuesday, right? Night at home. You've worked hard and you're going to open a bottle of wine, and then the evening, you would argue, just instantly feels different. The drink, it feels like it adds a sparkle. But let's get curious. Was it really the liquid in the glass that made it fun? Or was it the thoughts you had when you poured it, right? Now I can relax. Now I can let go. Now this feels special. And again, how fun did it feel the next morning, right? When you were dragging yourself through the day? That's one way of thinking about it. Here's something else to consider. Often we have simply given ourselves permission to drink in the evenings, right? So our brain labels that permission as fun. We don't drink through the rest of the day, right? My clients would never drink through the rest of the day. Wouldn't even countenance it. It wouldn't even be an option. It wouldn't be on the top 100 list of things to do, right? We wouldn't countenance that. So, but I do just want you to think about the rest of your day. Again, the rest of your day where alcohol just doesn't feature. It really just doesn't. Maybe at work you're going to laugh with a colleague. Maybe you're going to listen to a podcast on your way to work and you learn something, that strikes you as, ooh, that's good to learn. Or maybe, as you're getting ready to get out the door, your children are doing something silly and you smile at that, right? These are all fun moments too. I want you to think about it. Your day, even the most stressful day, is going to have moments of fun in it. Even if it's, oh my gosh, I'm so glad the sandwich shop has got my favorite sandwich back in stock, right? That might give you a little boost of, I can have a little fun with my lunch now. So all of these daytime incidents, they all happen without a drink in sight, right? Without a drink in sight. This is proof that alcohol is not required for fun. What is really happening in the evenings is this. You've kind of drawn an invisible line around that time. And that is when you've said to yourself, now I'm allowed. Now I get to switch off. Now I deserve this. Now I get to have that drink. Now I get that dopamine buzz from the alcohol. And of course it feels like fun because permission itself feels good. The drink is just tagging along for the ride. Here's another way to look at it. I want to offer you all these different ways of thinking about this. For those of you out there who say, yeah, I logically know the drink isn't the fun part, but Anna, I really believe it is. If the drink really was the fun part, then people who don't drink would never have fun. And we know that is not true. There are millions of people around the world laughing, dancing, celebrating and connecting every single day without alcohol in sight. if the drink were the fun part, it would also mean that no event could ever be enjoyable without it. But that's clearly not reality either. Weddings, concerts, dinners, birthdays, plenty of them are alcohol-free. Even though I will admit, once upon a time I couldn't imagine an alcohol-free wedding. Seems such a weird idea to me. But these things do go on and people still have an incredible time. I want you to think about days of old. I talk about this with my clients, where maybe before alcohol had such a starring role in your life. Maybe you go out for trips with family or with friends and you just really wouldn't drink, or you just really wouldn't even think about it, and you had fun, right? So the logic falls apart. It truly falls apart. Even in your life, in your lived experience, you will have experience of this, where you do not need alcohol to have fun. So fun cannot be in the drink, right? It's in you. You're the fun police. You're the fun machine. It's in your thoughts. It's in how present you are. It's in the meaning you give to the moment. The drink, the alcohol, the wine, the Prosecco, even the champagne, it just piggybacks along on top of that. So fun is not in the drink. Fun is in your brain. And here's the thing, when you believe you're more fun with a drink, or that events are more fun with alcohol, what you're doing is you are really outsourcing your experience to a quick dopamine hit. Because yes, alcohol can deliver this rush of dopamine so the moment feels brighter. Absolutely. Right? It does dull nerves. It does dull and take the edge off boredom or self-consciousness. Yes, it will quiet your inner critic so you feel freer momentarily. It will do those things. But here is the catch. That version of fun always has an invoice attached to it, right? There's always some additional payment due on it. You can get the buzz, but you can't skip the invoice. And the invoice is the foggy head, the restless sleep, the regret about the words said or promises broken. Even if the night feels good, tomorrow doesn't, and true fun isn't supposed to leave you worse off. I want to be clear. The same thing applies whether we're having one drink or no drinks, right? If you've decided, and if you're viewing one drink as just one drink, and it is an incidental thing, this is what I talk about in my book, The Off Switch. It is an incidental thing. And if it's there, it's great. If it's not there, that's also great, right? You can still have a drink and it not to be the be all and end all, not to be the fun part. So, when I talk clearly, if there's no alcohol present, then we can have fun then. We can also have fun when we've got the one or maybe even the two drinks. But again, it's how we see it. We are not giving responsibility to that drink for creating the fun, because the drink does not change the party. It doesn't change the people. It just temporarily shifts how you perceive things. It really is like you're putting a lens in front of your face. All right, well, remember those 1950s films or 30s films when the two protagonists would move in for a smooch and they do that soft lens. It's kind of like that. Alcohol does that kind of soft lens effect. What you're looking at hasn't changed. You just think it has. Right? And when we do this, we are then setting ourselves up to pay the consequences at some point, all right, whether it's later that night or the next day. So if the drink is not the fun, what is? Well, I would argue, and again, I want to really dissect this, right? Because there's all different ways you could look at it. The way I look at it might not resonate for you, and there's different ways of doing it. I think fun is curiosity. I mean, look at children. Look at the way children play. When they're turning things upside down, they pick things, they bang things, they get the blocks and they try to see how they work together. And they're just curious because they're learning and experiencing. I think fun is curiosity. I think it's engaging with people, listening, really listening. If you're somebody who you think in order to be in a social context, you need to have fun. To have fun there, you need to have a drink. Just try asking people questions. right? Just be engaged with them, listen to them. It's the best thing. It's also a sense of lightness. I think it's fun to feel light and presence. And there's something about being willing, the willingness to step outside your own head and to connect with what's going on around you. Right? To stop making it all about you and about whether there's wine or not. I want you to, again, think back to when you were a child. You didn't need alcohol to turn an empty box into a spaceship, right? Or to laugh until your stomach hurt. You created fun because your brain was tuned into joy. This is still available to you. And it comes without the price tag of regret. You may just not be so skilled at remembering how to do this, but it is still available to you. You still have the ability to do this. So here are some practical things I'd like you to, because I like to give homework. I'd like you to think about. I want you to ask yourself, what makes this fun for me? And this being, the day, the evening, the company, the event, whatever it is. At any event, you could pause and ask, if there were no drinks here, would this still be really fun? What would I like here? Would it be the music, the conversation, the dancing? Even planning an early exit, right? Just to get into your pajamas a little earlier, because you're going to get out those high heels and you're not going to stay as long as maybe you would ordinarily. That can be fun. It can be fun, right? Just asking yourself these questions will retrain your brain to look for the fun, look for the real fun, not the fun that comes, in the shape of a glass. That's the first thing. The second thing, I want you to notice the quote unquote evidence trap, right? This is if ever you've thought, see, look, I'm boring without a drink. I'm doing what you said, Anna. I'm not having the drink, or I'm not having the 3 drinks. I've just got the one and I'm really boring. I want you to recognize that is not evidence. That is just your self-critic speaking. Alcohol numbs this kind of criticism temporarily, but then you're going to punish yourself later. Right? I want you to think about that. You might say, oh, I just wish I could have done that. Didn't give myself a chance to learn. Real confidence comes from working with those thoughts, not drinking over them. And here's another one you could do. I want you to think about how you could create your own fun rituals, right? This is sparkle. How can you make things sparkle? Maybe it's a special alcohol-free drink. I tend to, for me, to somebody else, this might sound dreary. To me, it's fantastic. I just love the San Pellegrino glass bottles. I really like the way they look. I like the way they feel. I like the way I feel when I buy them. I like the way I feel when I pour this into a beautiful wine glass, right? That, to me, that's sparkle over, drinking water out of a tumbler. So that's fun. Maybe it's things like you would, creating your own playlist for the evening, or maybe when you go out, I did this also once, when you go out to a gathering, to just talk to as many people as you can. Maybe have a competition with your spouse, who can talk to the most people that we don't know here, right? You can be playful. Look for fun where you can get it. So is the drink the fun part? No, it never was. And again, I know a lot of you know this logically, but then find it hard to get past that. All right. But I want you to just remember, at best, the drink is a shortcut that your brain has learned. And at worst, it's fun with a hangover shaped receipt attached to it. So fun is not poured. It is created. It's created by all the different ways I've spoken about today. And when you reclaim fun for yourself through your thoughts and through your approach, alcohol will stop being the ticket to enjoyment. So you can do these things. You might still believe, look, I'll try these things. I still believe alcohol is the fun part. You could keep that belief in abeyance and then just try these things I've suggested here. And by doing these things, that's going to start to wiggle the belief about alcohol being the fun part. It's going to start to challenge that belief. Right? So you don't have to go into, okay, I'm just going to believe alcohol isn't fun, but just start doing these other things. Because once you do this, you'll start to have fun without consequences. You won't get the next day consequences, which is so cool. Now listen, if this is the part you are struggling with, if you want to learn how to enjoy yourself fully without needing a drink to feel confident or relaxed or socially adept, let's talk. I want you to book a free discovery call with me. We will look at your exact situation and I will build for you the exact path to get you to the point to where you want to be. And if you don't know where you want to be, if you don't know exactly what your future relationship with alcohol wants to look like, that's okay too. Most people fall into that bucket. Most people do not know. So we'll talk about it and we will craft a plan to get you there. All right. And then you'll get my support all the way along. And the link to book that call with me is in the show notes. So that's the main thing there. But also, if you have been thinking about taking a break from alcohol, maybe you're not ready for the full transformation, or maybe you want both, right? Maybe you've been thinking about taking a break, or just maybe to reset your habits or build a solid foundation from which you can then take action. Because I know a lot of people I speak with are just really confused about this. They have just had no success over the long term and they haven't got a clue really what's going to work. They're not expecting magic instant results, but they want to build a foundation that they are, moving towards. I'm doing something really exciting for Sober October. So a month yesterday. It's going to be a 30-day break designed to help you feel more energized, clear, and in control without the overwhelm. And like I say, it's really going to be about building a foundation and building tools so that you can leave the 30 days with momentum, and you don't even need to decide you want to go sober for the whole month. I'm not about day counting. All right, so I'm just setting this up right now, and I'm going to be sharing details later this month in September, and there are going to be some exclusive bonuses, and there's going to be an early bird deal on it for those of you who take action quickly. So you're going to want to make sure you are on my email list, because the people on my email list, we're going to get first dibs at the bonuses and so on. In order to do that, we should go to 90dayslater.co/list, and there you will join my email list. Trust me, you do not want to miss this, and I will also drop that link in the show notes. Okay, that is everything for this week. I will see you next time. If this episode hit home and you're ready to explore what life could look like with alcohol in the backseat, let's talk. I work with people one-on-one who are ready to create the relationship with alcohol that works for them, so they feel powerful in their choices and at peace with their habits. Go to 90dayslater.co and click on book a call, or grab one of the free guides in the show notes to this episode. And if this podcast is helping you, a rating or review goes a long way to help others find this work too.